Hello, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Coin Lady channel. The headline you see before you today, XRP loses all monthly gains in 1 hour, was generated by the precipitous drop in cryptocurrency prices that began roughly 24 hours ago. Follow these steps. Sure, no problem coming or going. But that doesn't mean you can't get a sense of the public mood by looking at what's been going on with XRP over the better part of this year. In my opinion, XRP holders shouldn't feel too horrible about the year thus far in terms of price action. And I think it's fair to say that most of us are, in light of the SEC's imminent demise, pretty hopeful about the future. Example of a V-shaped ripple. Cryptocurrency prices did fall, however. In case you're wondering what the hell time is, it's currently 2:54 am. On April 20th, Thursday. So, let me quickly show you a graph. But I believe this whole thing started happening here around 3 am. 24 hours ago. I witnessed the decline firsthand, by the way. Plus, I often find myself awake at odd hours. But you're curious as to why I was awake at such an odd hour last night, right? The reason for this is the presence of a demonic bird in the nearby trees. The daytime, too. Not even a whisper. Not a sound. The bird could still be in the air somewhere. Just saying. But then it returns nightly at about the same time. I've been at this for the past 4 or 5 days. And it still won't be quiet. There is no end to the constant chattering. I simply cannot go to sleep. That sexist bird is making that noise outside, and now I'm wide awake. Then I look around and see the price of cryptocurrency tank. On the plus side, I was able to buy some cryptocurrency at lower prices, as I always do whenever the market has significant fluctuations. I just made a purchase, and if prices drop even further, I may be tempted to make additional purchases. I recently invested in some additional Flare coins. However, there is something I need to clarify before we go any further. I come from a completely monetary background-free background. Do not buy or sell anything based on anything I say or write. I'm not giving financial advice. Just a hobbyist here that occasionally posts films to YouTube on various crypto-related topics. And by the way, I was actually tweeting about this little monster bird that was hanging around outside and only chirping way back in the AM hours. Perhaps some of you noticed that because I was freaking out. Crowdsourcing seemed like the best option to me. Please tell me how I can fix this. Someone even suggested taking hawk calls to the neighborhood. Indeed, that is the case. Predator noises are mandatory. If you play them on a speaker, the bird should fly away. Initially, I thought, are you telling me? Are you trolling me? Are you trying to embarrass me in public? However, it seems to be a genuine phenomenon. Many videos with only hawk noises were uploaded to YouTube for just this reason. Here it is then. It's probably around 2:30 in the morning or whatever right now. I'm in the open air, listening to some great music on my Bluetooth speaker. Sounds to this tree-dwelling sexist bird. And do you realize what that prick does? Do you know what that prickly bird is capable of? He suddenly stops talking, and my first thought is, oh, is he going to fly away? But then I notice the small demon bird is just staring at me, standing still. And he responds to the hawk calls by singing along with them. Oh, avian demon. By the way, it's currently making chirping noises. It won't stop talking, and I have no idea if the mic is catching it up or not. Just have get this out of my system. Many thanks for bearing with us. It definitely annoys me when you do that. However, XRP situation could be a lot worse. At the time of this writing, XRP has dropped 5% in the past 24 hours, to a price just below 50 cents. The price of one Bitcoin was $28,985. The total value of this asset class is estimated by you to be $1.24 trillion. The crypto fear and greed index is currently at 52 out of 100, while Bitcoin's market share is at 45.13%. So, we've finally reached a place of relative neutrality after a long journey. Although the price dropped 24 hours ago, it only made me greedier. The market is no longer in greed. That is all I want to say about it. Also, this from a credible crypto chart analyst. His 340,000 Twitter followers got the following message from him. He was getting anxious because everything from the bear divergence on the lower timeframes to the chop/drop that I predicted in my most recent YouTube video was happening. Increasing to $28,000 is reasonable and even preferable. That's right. Therefore, there is no need to panic. I, too, have been hearing the blockchain banker out. Check out his posts if you want the full scoop on his analysis. However, I should point out that he was demonstrating that a further decline in XRP value, back to the 30%-40% level, is not completely out of the question. This is not a TA channel, and I don't feel like repeating his TA here. I enjoy discussing the views of many experts, but if you want to know the nuts and bolts, look elsewhere. My channel isn't about that sort of thing. Technical analysis is not my forte because it bores me to tears. Then there is this from the data extortionists at chart analysis firms. He showed me this graph and stated, Bitcoin is almost back down to the level I was selling at. Above $30,000, Twitter's optimism peaked, therefore it's best to go against the crowd and buy when they quiet down. It makes more sense to begin gradually increasing the scale of operations now. But I'm not budging from my original $25,000 budget. A second expert here predicts that Bitcoin's value might rise to around $25,000 very soon. But once again, progress is seldom linear. My question, if I were to ask it, would be along the lines of, why shouldn't you fear at this most recent drop? Don't you think so? Take a look at how Bitcoin's price has fluctuated over the past 14 years. As this little bitch-ass bird keeps keeping me up each night, I'll just price drops. At this point in time, you should have come to expect things like this to happen, even if things, you've obviously been way better than the dumpster fire of 2022 as it pertains to crypto. What I'll do is, I'm just going to keep buying everything. Not a problem. Sure, show me that. Honestly, when chances like that arise, I become even more enthusiastic. And what do you suggest I do? Eventually, I'll have to cash out my winnings and buy a gun, which I intend to do. Fine. The icing on the bird, so to speak. I began to ponder, and several others said this to me. That wasn't going to be the first option I considered. However, many individuals advocate, just get a pellet gun, and I do not. So I went ahead and looked up B. I was looking for firearms and discovered one that looked just like a real Glock, so I could theoretically shoot that tiny bitch-ass bird with it. You do realize that this is a toy gun, right? To be fair, though, it is a B gun, but oh my god, that crow, I need to replay the audio. Do you hear what I hear? It's just beyond the threshold of this mini demon. Right now, I can hear it clear as day, but I have no idea if he's picking it up. Obviously, though, now is not the day. Oh, I see. Okay, so as far as XRP goes, and the fact that it erased its entire month's gains in a single hour, here's the deal. Okay, have a look at this graph. Bitcoin's 24-hour chart is available below. Now it is precisely 3 a.m. But as I write this, you can see Bitcoin's chart. I think it's safe to say that about 3 it began to decline. Clearly, it started down, then traded sideways for a while, and finally dropped even farther. Exactly at the same time, XRP repeated the identical action. Just before the bell rings. The price has been steadily decreasing from 52 cents. Since then, though, it has recovered somewhat, as shown. Very immediately after that, trading went sideways and has been doing so ever since. So Fine gives up its April gains in less than an hour. In the previous 30 days, though, it has increased by more than 28%. It could always be worse, I suppose. And then there was also this, in the sense that the optimistic news stories persist. This one, for example. I'm not interested in reading the piece. It's trying to make a more general argument here. A leading crypto trader says XRP for less than $1 represents a once-in-a-generation chance. You should all recognize me now. My largest cryptocurrency ownership is XRP. For many reasons, it is my preferred digital currency. if I had the chance. Really, I'm not serious. If I had to choose one cryptocurrency to hold right now, it would be. Personally, I'd rather use XRP, and that decision comes easily. Are the vast majority of individuals likely to become independently wealthy through XRP? No. It's equally true, though, that they won't. Most people will never become independently wealthy through investment. It's not even that similar chances present themselves. The possibilities are obvious to everyone. It's amazing and empowering for regular people because there's never been a chance like this to have an asset class like this brand new asset class, which has only been there for a little over a decade. But it's quite rare to have the chance at such rewards. Nothing like this has ever happened before, and nothing has ever lasted for 14 years. So, without a doubt, the possibility exists. And certainly, I'll own it, I have no idea. There are no price forecasts from me. Obviously, I can't predict the future value of XRP. But I will say that even if XRP only goes to like $5 to $7, I have bought so much of it that for me personally, even just $5 to $7 would be life-changing if I were to sell in that range. In the meanwhile, I had to assume a lot more risk than the average person. I've been doing this for well over 5 years now, using a strategy similar to dollar cost averaging to buy a few expensive items in 2019 and then wait it out until 2020. The possibility is there, too. I wholeheartedly endorse this idea, yes. The possibility of extraordinary wealth, yes. Most Bitcoin investors still have the option of putting their money into XRP. You can make a lot of cash doing that. For me, the answer is a resounding no. Unless, of course, you're talking about getting yourself a Bitcoin. Now, if you have close to $30,000 to invest and can revisit the project in a few years, you might want to take a look. Okay. But think about how much money XRP could make in a shorter amount of time with the same investment strategy. To put it simply, I don't see how anything can compare now. This notion that one might amass unimaginable wealth is, thus, plausible. How much you stand to gain or lose under the current system is proportional to the value of the couple's assets and their willingness to hang on to them. For my part, all I ever wanted was for XRP to break through to a new all-time high and enter price discovery. Simply said, I'm attempting to buy as much as possible so that I can avoid the market cycle altogether in the future. In any case, that's the plan. Therefore, I don't unload as much as I expect if I mix it up or if the pop isn't as thrilling as we're thinking. Sure, anything. If that's the case, I may have to hold out for even longer, which isn't the end of the world. But I'm guessing that isn't the full story, and that's why I acted the way I did. However, the point is that the chance exists. What the day's chart analysts had to say is also something I'd like to share. Bitcoin's price has seen wild swings over the previous 3 days, according to this writer for Cointelegraph. Increased volatility indicates a power struggle between purchasers and sellers. Bitcoin saw a strong recovery on April 18 but lost all of its gains the following day, April 19. Possible catalysts for the recent sell-off include the high UK inflation numbers and the regulatory uncertainties in the US. Most big cryptocurrencies also went down as investors booked profits with Bitcoin. Well, Glassnode noted in its study on April 17 that a deep correction is conceivable since a number of on-chain indicators are indicating that the bear market is nearing its end. If this is the case, long-term investors may see price drops as a chance to buy. Yep. Oh, yeah. In fact, that's how I see it too. Actually, I was considering a bit more before beginning to shoot this video, and I may just kind of read the rest of my holdings to see if there's anything else in terms of current price activity for certain altcoins. You know, maybe there are some more offers out there and I just want to top off my bags a little bit, so I want to see if there's anything more I'm interested in keeping or well, not just holding, but purchasing more of. I know that, in a broad sense, obviously the market went down. However, I'd like to zero in and get a bit more specific about that before prices ultimately go back up, even if they go down a bit more in the meantime, whatever. Who knows, maybe I do have some time. There is no way to tell for sure. This piece from the Daily Hodl, for example. Benjamin Cowan predicts that Bitcoin will soon dominate the cryptocurrency market. This is why. Look, I just don't feel like reading the article. I feel the need to add my 2 cents on this matter. With regards to Bitcoin's preeminence. Ultimately, he argues, and this article references his argument, that a chart of Bitcoin's market share reveals nothing but high lows recently. That's the sort of thing you're hoping to find. And the past experiences that have prepared us for the future. Rising prices. It's just that Bitcoin has always been the market leader, and that's great. To be honest, I don't see the big deal with Bitcoin. I have possession of it. I'm content to keep my position, although it's true that it dominates the market. And, as you probably well know, Bitcoin is attracting a lot of investment capital. There is no dearth of historical evidence to show that at some point, people will wish to cash out their gains, creating the circumstance where, of course, some of that sum is then invested in all coins, including the large, medium, and small cap varieties. Simply repeat the process. Well, that settles it. This further supports the idea that no single criterion or factor should be treated as decisive. However, when taken together, these factors provide a highly optimistic picture of the future of crypto. Okay, so it's true that the past 24 hours have been a touch on the negative side, but that shouldn't scare you in the least, right? This from the Daily Hodl was also interesting. Institutional investors are focusing almost exclusively on Bitcoin, leaving all coins in the dust. Not that it bothers me to see this again. To put it simply, XRP is my coin of choice. It's the one I'm most looking forward to, but I'm pleased to see this as well, since this asset class tends to rise and fall together. It's just that Bitcoin is ahead of the curve, and I think it's safe to assume that this trend will continue indefinitely. Fine. No problem with me at all. According to CoinShares, a digital asset manager, institutional crypto investment products saw inflows for the 4th consecutive week last week. According to CoinShares' latest digital asset fund flows weekly report, institutional crypto investment products saw inflows of nearly $114 million last week, a continued sign of bullishness from institutional investors. A total of $345 million has been brought in over the past 4 weeks, nearly making up for the $408 million that was taken out over the previous 6 weeks. And so, you see that institutional investors, they do not invest the same as a typical retail speculator, even though we have seen a lot of favorable price activity, like I keep repeating in this video for this year. Some of them will buy and hold without doing anything else. And over very large time scales, they vary very little. In contrast, other institutional investors will gamble on larger swings, however they will not act like the average retail speculator. We encounter that frequently as well. This shouldn't come as a huge surprise. Again though, what are we seeing in terms of direction? Investing in cryptocurrency generally, and XRP in particular, couldn't come at a better moment. In my opinion, XRP will astound everyone involved in the asset class. My money is on a favorable verdict in the SEC versus Ripple case, and I believe that to be the most likely conclusion. There's no definite way to know, but ought we to obtain that? I can't say how high XRP price would go, but it would certainly rise rapidly. If the news is good, I could see it happening soon after it's released. Instance, would it really shock you if XRP gained, say, 100% in a few hours? Is that really going to shock anyone? To be absolutely crystal clear, I'm not speculating on a price. Let me put it this way, what if that's only the beginning? This raises some interesting questions. So, maybe this isn't the catalyst that will send XRP to a new all-time high, but it's possible. Just saying. I don't know, but it makes me happy that it's 2023 and not 2022, since if it were good news and the case had been settled the year before, I imagine XRP would have risen significantly. But if you're talking about being in a bully-filled atmosphere, we're talking about very different things here, pals. That's what we're actually messing about with, and it's awesome. Therefore, I'm unsure of the time frame, but might we call it off at any point? I keep saying this, but one day we're going to open our eyes and there will be news. Perhaps the most striking feature is the disproportionately high cost of XRP. And in that instant, I'll know without a doubt. All right, good news. What would you do if you woke up to find that XRP had dropped by 50% since you had gone to sleep the night before, like Judge Torres? Tell me what you did. But even if something terrible did happen, I'm telling you, buddy, you just wait till we have a higher court, particularly if it goes all the way to the Supreme Court, which I don't think it will. However, we will ultimately triumph over that XRP holder if it came to that. I stand firm on that. I am not a certified financial planner. Nothing I say or write should be used as a basis for making financial decisions. Please like and subscribe my channel. See you in the next one. Bye.